He handed me the results with trembling hands. Then he murmured, "I know he's not mine. But the hardest part. I hadn't even known he took the test. My name is Amanda, and I didn't betray him. That's the one truth I held on to while everything else collapsed." I met Jake during college. He was sharp, a bit intense, but had that quiet charm that made people lean in closer when he spoke. We dated for 3 years before he popped the question. He promised forever, and I believed him. The early years of our marriage were steady, peaceful. We both had full-time jobs. Me in education, him in tech, and eventually we bought our first house. I truly believed we were building something lasting, something unshakable. 5 years into marriage I got pregnant. It wasn't planned, but it wasn't unwanted either. Jake acted strange when I told him, but I chalked it up to nerves. He smiled, kissed my forehead and said, "We'll get through it." And I thought we were. The pregnancy went smoothly, but Jake became distant. He stayed late at work, came home distracted, stopped touching me. He barely spoke unless he had to. I blamed pressure. I blamed his job. I even blamed myself. Our son, Noah, was born that spring. A perfect, healthy little boy. The moment I held him, I completely melted. Cried, I laughed, I felt whole. Jake held him too, but there was something in his gaze that unsettled me. It wasn't wonder or pride. It was calculation. Still I ignored it. I blamed postpartum fog. I was too exhausted to chase ghosts. Then, for months after Noah's birth, I found a wrinkled paper in Jake's jacket while doing laundry. It was from a private paternity service, and had Noah's name printed on it. My stomach dropped. I had no idea Jake had taken a test. He hadn't asked. The results said, probability of paternity, 0%. I stood in the laundry room, stunned. Frozen. Number. Then panic hit. Oh. There was no one else. I hadn't even looked at another man. I waited for Jake to return. That paper clenched tight in my fist like a weapon. When he walked in, I didn't scream. I just held it up. He flinched. His expression stiffened. "So you found it," he muttered. "You went behind my back." Shouted. "I had to," he snapped. "He doesn't look like me. He's a baby, Jake. Babies change every week." But he didn't care. He said the test was proof. That I was the liar. And the part one still can't believe. That same night, he moved into the guest room. I tried explaining. Again and again. I begged him to redo the test. I pleaded for trust. But he shut down. He only spoke to me about Noah. And even then like I was a tenant who broke house rules. I stopped sleeping. I replayed every detail of the last year. I checked our accounts and found the charge from the DNA company. Dated 1 week after Noah's birth. Then I did what I should have done the moment I found the paper. Called the company. And that's when it all began to unravel. The woman on the phone hesitated when I asked about the test. "Ma'am," she said, "the DNA sample labeled mother doesn't match the baby either." Froze. What? She double-checked. According to the report, I wasn't Noah's biological mother. I almost laughed. I gave birth to him. I told her. Then it clicked. I asked her to send me the full report. When I opened it, I saw it. Jake never used my DNA. He must have submitted a random sample, probably from a hospital item labeled mother. He never asked me for a swab. Never told me. Called him at work. "You used the hospital sample, didn't you?" Said. Silence. "You never used my DNA. That's why the test says I'm not his mom either. The sample was wrong." He hung up. When he came home, he was pale. His confidence shattered. I didn't think it would matter," he mumbled. "I just needed peace of mind." "You didn't want peace," I said. "You wanted a reason to blame me." Then came the truth. Jake had been unfaithful for over a year, with a coworker. It began even before I got pregnant. And when I told him I was expecting, he panicked. He assumed I had done the same. Guilt makes cowards out of people. But Jake went further. He didn't confess, he projected. He decided I must have cheated too. So he ordered the test. And when the results didn't add up, he assumed the worst because he wanted to. I filed for divorce 2 weeks later. He tried to push for custody, but once the court saw the fake report and his affair, he backed off. I had a legally certified paternity test done. The truth. Exactly what I always knew. Jake was Noah's biological father. But he'll never be his real dad. Not after what he did. People think betrayal is just cheating. But there's a different kind. Colder, more cruel version. When someone you trust rewrites reality just to ease their own guilt. Jake didn't just doubt me. He turned his back on our son to protect his own lie. I don't need his apology. I don't even want it. All I want is to raise my child in a home where love isn't tangled in doubt, and loyalty isn't something I have to prove.